Valorant is the brand new game that's currently going through the closed beta, and my gosh, is this game incredible. There is one thing, however, that I'm finding incredibly difficult, and that is the very basic thing of aim. Aiming in Valorant is very different to other games, but the game it's most similar to would be Counter-Strike. However, in my personal opinion, it's a lot harder. So in this video, guys, I'm going to bring you guys a guide and break down the 3 key things that's going to help you guys improve your aim on Valorant. Yo guys, what is going on? Bobblez here. Yes, that's right, we've got a Valorant video today, a guide video, and it's slightly different to my usual Fortnite content, but don't worry for you Fortnite fans out there, I'm still going to be uploading Fortnite videos, like the update that's coming out tomorrow, but today I just thought I'd try and mix things up and bring you guys a guide to Valorant. So what is this guide? Basically, I've narrowed down the 3 core things that will make your aim better in Valorant. Those 3 things being sensitivity, your crosshair, and recoil. So stay tuned for this video to find out all of those kind of things, a deep dive into each of those things and how you can actually improve on them, how you can figure out what's good for you on making your aim overall better. So if you do go on to indeed enjoy this video, make sure you let me know by smashing the thumbs up button, and if you want to see more Valorant content, let me know with a comment down below. And finally guys, make sure you do subscribe to me here on the channel to stay up to date with all the latest Fortnite and Valorant, I guess, news. So guys, without further ado, let's get cracking in these 3 tips on how to improve your Valorant aim. Number 1, your sensitivity. Sensitivity, like all games, is one of the most important things to work out. And until you have the sensitivity that's right for you, you're not going to be very good at aiming. And obviously, you are indeed on keyboard and mouse on Valorant. There's no controller at the moment, no console, so if you haven't played many keyboard and mouse games before, it's going to take a bit of tweaking to get used to. One big thing is I recommend going as low as you possibly can, purely because that will help you with actually making sure you do actually hit shots, especially with the large amount of recoil that's in the game, but I'll move on to recoil later. So if you have played other games such as Overwatch, here is indeed a chart on actually the division that you have to do in order to get your right sensitivity. So take whatever one you pick on the screen of the game that you've played, divide it by the number that it shows, and that will be your Valorant actual sensitivity. However, if you haven't played any of those games, or if you chose your sensitivity without looking at those games, then for me, I'm personally on 0.45. And now I'm not saying for you guys to use that sensitivity, I'm just saying for me, it works because it's slow enough for me to be able to hit headshots, which is very crucial in this game. Headshots, especially with certain guns, is a one-shot kill, which is very overpowered. So as long as you can hit those shots as well as turning around and you've got enough room on your mouse mat and that kind of thing, you're going to be good to go, and that is your sensitivity. Obviously, you can practice a lot, and my biggest tip for practicing in this game is to actually go into the practice mode, which essentially gives you a bunch of targets. There's also bunny hopping things and all stuff like that. It's actually really cool, little parkour map, but the actual target practice is what we're obviously going to be focusing on, and it's very beneficial to use those, shoot the targets. They go away within literally like 2 seconds, so it's a great way to actually practice your really quick sort of flicks with your mouse and working on your headshots. So you've got your sensitivity down. What's something else that is one of the most first things you have to do before you start practicing essentially with the game and learning the game and learning into maps? Well, that thing is indeed your crosshair. Your crosshair is arguably just as important as sensitivity. Now, the reason I say this is because I played a lot of games of Valorant and I did not have the correct crosshair for me. Now, I'm not saying for you guys to use a dot crosshair. I personally find the dot to be incredible and I love it because my eyes get distracted by other crosshairs. If I see a crosshair, I'll start to get distracted. I won't know the exact pinpoint that I have to shoot on for headshots, say. So I personally use a dot. Always use the dot in Counter-Strike, always going to use it in Valorant now. But before, I was using other ones, and there's a lot of different settings for your crosshair. So if we take a look into the actual settings option, there's a lot of different settings. So you've got the inner dot, which is personally what I have on, and I don't have anything else on. But if you use the outer lines and the inner lines, then I do actually recommend you turning the dot off, personally, so that you get actually some more vision inside the actual crosshair. So what are these inner lines? What are the outer lines? The inner lines are the basic small little crosshair that you get. You can change the settings so that they are further away from each other, so they're longer, so they're shorter, so they're thicker. You can actually have outlines on these, or you can not have outlines, and you can also change the color to a bunch of different settings. So a lot to go on. And then there's the outer lines. The outer lines are basically, they actually ping and they move essentially sometimes if you have that setting on when you shoot your weapon, or when you're switching weapons, or when you're moving. Now that's what I find to be very incredibly off-putting, but obviously you guys have the option there if you wish and if you like that. So whether you've got Valorant or not, definitely recommend going to your Crosshair settings and mess around with what you've got. And I do highly recommend the smaller the better, because the more pinpoint it really is. But again, it's personal preference. So let's move on now to the recoil side of things. Recoil is kind of crazy. Now, it is, with every single gun, overwhelming at first, and it's incredibly bad. Also, I find that the recoil is different on the same weapon every time you shoot it. Now, it's not an incredibly noticeable difference, but it is, however, slightly different. And there is a lot of control that you need to learn for each of the different weapons, since they're all unique and they're all different with recoil. So it's going to take a lot of getting used to the recoil, which is why this is the last thing in this video that I'm going to be talking about. Because your aim is something, but then the recoil just completely destroys all aim that you possibly have. You can hit a headshot, but if you're not focusing on the recoil, then you're not going to hit that shot. If you move in the game, your aim's going to go everywhere. If you crouch in the game, it actually lowers the recoil. So if you make sure you're standing still in your crouch, you're going to get the best potential aim that you possibly could have. So whenever you go for a gunfight, make sure you play it strategically and make sure that you have the option to maybe crouch so that you can get that better aim in. Now, there's obviously a lot of abilities also in the game, so if you use the abilities, with some of them you can actually optimize the recoil that you have. Using certain abilities such as the flashes or things like that, you can actually make sure that the enemies are blinded, or even just so it gives you more vision over them because you know where enemies are. It gives you the time to actually crouch and pre-aim certain shots for say. But the recoil in general, if we're talking about the two main guns, the Phantom and the Vandal, they are the main two ARs and they are very good in the game. Now, the Phantom is the suppressed version, so if we talk about based on Counter-Strike, it's basically the M4A1S, and then the Vandal is actually the AK-47. Now, if we look at these, then the recoil is incredibly high, and it tends to, on all guns, go up and then go side to side, except for the LMG. The LMG actually just continues to go up and all here, there, and everywhere. Even the pistol in Valorant has recoil. You've got to really make sure that you don't burst fire too much, because if you do it too quickly, you will get recoil on all weapons, even the burst ones, even the burst AR, the semi-auto AR. So make sure that you know how fast you can shoot each of the weapons. Again, do this in the actual practice mode before you jump into a game so that you know exactly how fast you can fire. On those pistol rounds, this is going to be incredibly crucial, especially if you've got to hit headshots. You need to know that you need to slow down your fire rate so that you can actually hit the shots and the bullet doesn't go then above their heads. So just learning the simple mouse movement as well, pulling down on your actual mouse. Even though the crosshair isn't then going to be on the person, for say, the bullets will, however, hit them. So you've got to make sure all of these things are put together. Your sensitivity is right for you, so you can still move around the map, but you can still hit headshots and body shots, obviously. Your crosshair is right, so you don't get distracted, so you can see everything, and you can obviously see your bullet spray, which leads us to then the recoil. Learning the recoil of every weapon will all help towards you having a better aim, getting more kills, and being better altogether at Valorant. That's if you've got the game now, or if you're getting ready to have the game so you can be an absolute beast. Those are probably the best tips that I can give you about how you can actually improve your aim. So guys, I hope you have indeed enjoyed this video, this guide video on Valorant. Let me know, like I said earlier, down in the comments below if you want to see more Valorant content, more guides like this one. I've got a lot of different topics that I can talk about. I can talk about a lot more guns and that kind of thing. So yeah, let me know. Also, make sure you are indeed subscribed to me here on the channel. I do post Fortnite content all the time, and I'm going to definitely be posting Valorant as well. Not to overtake Fortnite as well as Fortnite. But guys, thank you all for watching. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day. Stay safe, and yeah, see ya.